Your Royal Highness, Princess Madeleine, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and many friends that I see in the room today, it is with a deep sense of responsibility that I do join you today to discuss an issue that strikes at the very core of our humanity, ending violence against children. I would like to thank the Permanent Mission of Sweden and the World Childhood Foundation for convening this event, along with the Special Representative on Violence Against Children, my sister Najat. But I would also like to express my sincere and deep appreciation to Her Royal Highness Princess Madeleine for her unwavering commitment to children. But let me also remind us of the important leadership of Her Majesty Queen Silvia, on whose shoulders we stand when we speak about the rights of children. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, violence against children takes many forms, be it physical, sexual, or emotional, online and offline. Every 4 minutes, a child is killed by an act of violence somewhere in the world. About 90 million children alive today have experienced sexual violence. And 35% of all identified victims of trafficking are children. Another staggering figure, 246 million children experience violence in and around schools. Schools that should be a safe space, a space for learning. And as technology evolves, the risks children face can be amplified, as we have seen from the increase in AI-generated child sexual abuse material that is seen online. The list goes on. In fact, I think I could spend my entire speech listing horrifying statistics. However, these statistics still fall short of depicting the full magnitude of this global tragedy. I'll never forget the 15 young girls from Sudan that I met in August this year, who have lived through and continue to try to survive the horrors and the lasting trauma of violence and rape in their country. I was also inspired by their courage, their conviction as they set about rebuilding their lives, ready to take on their futures. It is time we emulate that courage and we fulfill the promise that we've made to end violence against children by 2030. It's the very least that we can do to help heal their egregious wounds. The transformative vision of the 2030 Agenda gives us a genuine pathway. So far, we're off track from our goal for many reasons, but this is not the time to let despair paralyze us. There is hope. Ending violence against children is within our grasp. Powerful examples of action by states, by civil society, and other stakeholders demonstrate that change is possible. We see countries transform political promises into robust legal and policy frameworks. We see increased investments in services to nurture and heal families and children. And we see the digital environment offering opportunities. We must maximize these benefits while minimizing the risk to children online. The recently adopted Global Digital Compact provides a crucial framework for achieving just that. Across communities, religious and civic leaders are also promoting positive social norms that safeguard our children. We see relentless efforts of civil society in both advocacy and service provision at the lowest levels to children and their families. We see the private sector increasingly assuming its role in nurturing safe environments for children. Families and communities also play a critical role. Parents and caregivers are essential in fostering a secure and nurturing environment and letting children have their childhood. Most importantly, we see children, young people, and survivors becoming more involved in action to tackle violence against children. Excellencies, friends, there's growing evidence on what works in combating violence against children. The building blocks are there, and they must be placed on a foundation of political will and a unified approach to put children first and at the core of everything we do. Knowledge and commitment must be translated into concrete, sustainable, and accelerated action. The imperative was underscored at the Global Ministerial Conference on Ending Violence Against Children held last week in Bogota, Colombia, and we heard that from Princess Madeleine, but also from our permanent representative here in New York. I'd like to commend the governments of Colombia, of Sweden, for co-hosting the pivotal event. And this was highlighting how many high-level delegations from over 120 countries came to identify bold and innovative solutions. So they didn't come with despair, they came with how we get the job done to achieve the goals that we have laid out. They highlighted evidence-based approaches for the broadest and most enduring impact, supporting children and their caregivers through effective prevention and response. Many countries committed to end childhood sexual violence, improve services for childhood violence survivors, or tackle bullying, while others promised to invest in critical parent support to introduce new digital safety, and also to increase the legally permitted age of marriage. It also saw the launch of a renewed global alliance for pathfinding countries to accelerate efforts to end violence against children. So the work that we have been doing, I think the promises made are to go to scale to get it done, and to do it with a sense of urgency, and to ensure that all monies that go into sustainable development look for the impact in the life of children and of families. We've got less than 6 years remaining to keep the promise of the 2030 Agenda to end violence against children. As we mark the 35th anniversary of the Convention on the Rights of the Child this year, we must accelerate action with the scale and urgency that is needed. And the Childhood Foundation shows us that this can be done from small beginnings to a huge network of those that come here year in, year out to share with us what's been done and what more we can do to reach those goals. We know that violence against children is widespread and pervasive, but it is also preventable. So let us unite with unyielding resolve to secure a world where violence against children is relegated to the memory of the past. Thank you.